Hi, I'm Danielle Sheed and this is your Thursday afternoon Lighthouse Bulletin. Sunday the 11th of November marked the 100th anniversary of Armistice Day, paying tribute to those who laid down their lives and served for our country. Today we will be looking at the events that took place across Cornwall to honour the tradition, with thousands of people travelling far and wide to pay their respects. In this Remembrance Bulletin, we head to Truro to see the Remembrance Bridge, look at the Polly's 100 Faces 100 Stories event, and finally head down to Perranporth to learn more about the Page of the Sea project. First, we see Truffaut's Olivia Churchill, who headed to Perranporth to join the nationwide Page of the Sea project, which took place on 32 beaches across the British Isles. The project, created by filmmaker Danny Boyle, showcased dozens of portraits of past veterans etched into the sand. Olivia headed down to Perranporth to observe this creativity along the coastline.
Hundreds of people came together on Perranporth Beach to say thank you and goodbye to all the millions who left for World War, many of which never returned. The Pages of Sea event was a unique moment and communities around the UK and Ireland came together on beaches across the country to mark the centenary. Members of the public helped create commemorative artwork, joining in with raking the sand stencils that form the portraits representing the many soldiers who fought for our country. The large portrait on the beach was of Archie Jewell. He survived the sinking Titanic, however lost his life on a sinking hospital ship in 1917. He was born in Bude and first went to sea at around the age of 15. I spoke to coordinator Emma Gaisford from Perranporth Lifesaving Club about how many volunteers helped, how they got involved and whether they had done anything like this in the past.
I'm the sort of coordinator for things that are going on down at Perranporth Surf Lifesaving Club. The team from Blister Arts and the Eden Community team who are doing the portrait here today asked if the club would be involved with being a base for the artists and just helping out with some volunteers. So we've provided volunteers and people and just sort of local knowledge about the tide and the beach itself. We have got 5-6 people involved. We got involved a few years ago. There was an arts project called Nowhere Island, which was a giant island that was going around the coast of Great Britain. And so we were told about it and we took our entire children's section, which is 120 children, and all our boards, and we went over to Newquay and paddled out to the island, and we were involved with that from an arts point of view.
Elsewhere, in Truro, a bridge of remembrance was covered in crocheted poppies created and donated by the volunteers across Cornwall. The knitted poppies cover the footbridge across the River Allen between St Mary's Mews and the Old Bridge Street car park. The bridge even consists of a panel of purple poppies to mark animals that died during the war. We went to Truro to find out more.
Many people travelled far and wide to visit the Bridge of Remembrance in Truro. It featured over 15,000 hand-knitted and crocheted poppies to mark respect for the soldiers who fought in World War I.
The Polly also took place in paying their respects to the veterans who fought for our country. In an exclusive interview with Jo Matterley, a historian at the Polly, she talks about the 100 Faces 100 Stories Remembrance event. The event looks at some of the most personal artefacts and stories collected by the Cornish Archives Network, which illuminate the First World War. Olivia Churchill has more.
100 Faces, 100 Stories is a partnership project. The main focus is on remembering the people and animals of World War I.
My name is Jo Matterley and I coordinated the 100 Faces, 100 Stories project with Chloe Phillips of the Cornwall Record Office. In 2013, in fact, we were starting thinking about it in 2012 after we'd done some work on sport exhibitions to do with the Olympics. We did a project where we had school teachers' notes written when we'd completed the project. So we were working more with museums and archives initially, and then making the material available.
I've been Danielle Sheed, and this has been your exclusive Remembrance Day Bulletin. Tune in next week for more news from the Lighthouse.